The 2023 NFL Combine wraps up on Monday as the Jets and Giants are zeroing in on players they might select in the upcoming draft. New York Post NFL reporter Ryan Dunleavy is back from a trip to Naptown for the Combine last week, and Ryan joins me now. Ryan, how's it going?
What's up, Dex?
I'm good, man. I am doing well. You are back from watching all these prospects. So let's start with the Giants, who are likely to be focused on upgrading at wide receiver and corner. Who are some players at those positions that impressed Big Blue at the Combine?
It'd be hard not to be impressed by TCU receiver Quentin Johnston. He even made a joke about how he could picture himself in blue just like his high school uniform. He had a 40.5-inch vertical, didn't run the 40-yard dash, but if he did, it was probably a good thing for the Giants. He probably would have jumped out of their range. Tyler Scott's a receiver they met with out of Cincinnati. He had a 4.44 40-yard dash. He's probably more of a second-round prospect. Deonte Banks is a cornerback. If the top three cornerbacks are off the board for the Giants, there's a big three of Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr. If those guys are off the board, then Deonte Banks from Maryland had a really impressive combine, could be a Giants target.
All right, we will see if the Giants target their wide receiver corner positions to definitely look at for them. Now, while we don't know who's going to start under center for the Jets in 2023, Gang Green should be looking to shore up their offensive line in the draft. Who's on the Jets' radar?
Well, those guys are working out today, Dex. The offensive linemen are on the field today, along with the running backs. But there's a couple guys I think really interesting is Peter Skronsky from Northwestern. He came in listed as a tackle. Now some teams are talking about him as a guard. If teams see him as a guard, they tend to push guards down the board. That could push him out of the top 10, maybe into the Jets' hands at 13. We saw how were willing last year to move Elijah Vera Tucker inside outside from guard to tackle as needed. Skronsky has that kind of versatility. That would be a huge get for the Jets. They've picked offensive line. Tua Douglas's 3 drafts, their first round pick. They could definitely go back there. It's certainly what they need with the uncertainty surrounding George Fant, Mekhi Becton, and Max Mitchell. The tackle is very likely one of their first 2 picks in this draft. And other guys in the first round, if the Northwestern kid is off the board, would be like Paris Johnson at Ohio State or Broderick Jones at Georgia, all guys who could be there around 13. And with quarterbacks getting pushed up this draft, that's good news for the Jets because that means good players like offensive linemen are getting pushed down.
All right, we'll see if the Jets can find some value to add to the offensive line. Now, look, when you talk about the NFL Combine, a lot of attention around the league is going to go to quarterbacks. What did you see from quarterbacks and who really stood out for you in terms of QBs at the NFL Combine?
Well, I thought was interesting was Bryce Young was shorter than we all thought. We thought he was 6 foot. He actually measured closer to 5'10", but he was heavier than we thought. The big concern was he only going to be about 185 pounds, weighed in at 204. He didn't throw, but those are numbers probably close to Kyler Murray's. So he'll probably still be the number 1 overall pick. The weight was a big concern. He'll probably be the number 1 overall pick. CJ Stroud had a really impressive combine, both on and off the field. He's probably the leader right now to be the number 2 overall pick and the number 2 quarterback, probably to the Texans. And then I thought the next 2 quarterbacks both dominated the combine. Will Levis, you could tell, is just a super sharp kid who could handle a lot of information. Teams are going to love that. Maybe the Raiders or Colts are going to love that. They're at 7 and 4 there, respectively, the Raiders and Colts. And then Levis, he was positioned to be the 3rd quarterback. Even as impressive as he was, he might have got jumped by Anthony Richardson. I mean, this kid just put on a dazzling display of athleticism, setting records for vertical jump and 40-yard dash setting 2 records for quarterbacks at the combine, including vertical leap 40.5 inches. He probably pushed his way into the top 10. He's only been a 1-year starter. He has a little of that boomer bust to him. But, I mean, he was talking about being Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, a swagger to him. He wants to be one of the greats in the next few years. Somebody will take a chance on him, especially with all these trades, Dex, that happened in the last couple of years. And now you see a team like Seattle, which could re-sign Geno Smith or tag Geno Smith and then use the number 5 pick on a quarterback like Richardson and let him sit for a year. It's a fascinating element that some of the teams already in the top 10 have their quarterback. So
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance Levis, Richardson, Stroud, and Young are all top 10 picks, which would be good news for the Giants and Jets getting their prospects pushed down.
Will be very interesting to see where these quarterbacks go. A lot of talk about them with the NFL Combine, as I said, which ends on Monday. But Ryan Dunleavy, he'll be all on top of it because football offseason has begun, and there'll be so much to talk about. Ryan, always good to talk to you. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Dex.